we'll just come to know how to install this VS Code, Visual Studio Code. Okay, now in today's session, we will start with the HTML. Basically, we are going to learn about HTML in depth. So basically, what is HTML? As per our understanding, what is HTML? So if someone asks you what is HTML, don't tell the full form. Don't tell just full form, like hypertext markup language. Okay, so instead of giving the full form, the better way to tell what is HTML is, it is a markup language. It is a markup language. Now they are going to ask, what is the meaning of markup? What do you mean by markup? Markup is nothing but giving some kind of structure. Markup means giving some kind of layout or structure. That is what we are called as a markup. Next, what they will ask, what is the purpose of HTML? You said HTML is a language, okay? Now, what is the use of this language? Why we are using this language? So answer is straightforward. What is the purpose of HTML? Okay, lot of people give different kind of answers, or don't give any answers. Based on your experience only, you have to give the answers. So whenever you are giving some answers, you should be able to prove practically your answers. Okay, whenever you go for any interviews, if you are giving some XYZ answers, then you should be able to prove your answers. Okay, so what is the purpose of HTML? It is used to structure the content, on web page. It is used to structure the content. This is very, very important. On web page. Okay, so basically we will not create web page using HTML. On the web page, we will display some content, and to that content, we can give some kind of structure using HTML. This is what we have discussed in the last session. Now, can you guys tell me what HTML is providing to us? What this HTML is providing to us so that we can structure the content? What HTML is providing to structure the content on the web page? What HTML is providing to us? Anybody knows the answers? Yes, I got the answer. Yeah, so basically HTML is providing something called HTML elements. Okay, it's very, very important. HTML elements. Okay, so what HTML is providing? HTML is providing us collection of HTML elements. And what we can do using this HTML elements, we can structure the content. So if someone asks you what HTML is providing to us so that we can structure the content, like how can you create button structure? How can you create link structure? How can you show your content in the paragraph structure? How can you show your content like a heading? How can you show your content like a list? So for this, HTML is providing us something called HTML elements, and using this HTML elements only, we can structure the content on the web page. So what you are going to learn in your entire HTML means you are going to learn about elements. You are just going to learn about elements. What is element? Okay, what is the purpose of element? Okay, and what kind of structure this element is going to provide us? What is element and how this element is going to structure the content for us? This is what we are going to learn in our HTML. Okay, so what is HTML? HTML is a markup language. What is the purpose of HTML? The purpose of HTML is to structure the content. Now, to structure the content, HTML is providing us something called HTML elements. Using these HTML elements, we can structure the content on the web page. Now, what are the examples of HTML elements? So let me just list out some of the examples. So we have something like heading element. Okay, we have image element. we have table element, we have list element, we have form element. Like this, there are lots of elements we have in the HTML. Every element is going to structure the content in some way. So this is what we will learn in HTML. Okay, this is the element, this is how it is going to structure. This is the element, this is how it is going to structure. This is the element, this is how it's going to structure. Yeah. Is it clear for everyone till here? Anyone have any kind of doubts? If you have any kind of doubts or any kind of confusion till here, then you guys can feel free to ask the question on the chat. Yes, Sumit, we will be covering entire advanced JavaScript. Okay, JavaScript is not like a basics. We are going to cover entire JavaScript. Okay, yeah. Now let's explore our first element, that is heading element. Now every element in your HTML, is going to provide us some set of formats. What HTML is going to provide, HTML element is going to provide us, every element in HTML is going to provide us some set of formats. So some element will provide us 4 formats, some element will provide us only 1 format, some element will provide us 2 formats, like that. And technically, these formats we are going to call as a tag. Technically, these formats we are going to call as a tag. So I can say every element in HTML is going to provide us some set of tags. The general meaning of tag is format. But technically, we will use the term tag. Okay. So every element in HTML is going to provide some set of tags. Tags are nothing but formats. Now in your interviews, they will ask, what is tag? What is tag in HTML? What is tag in HTML? So the answer is very simple. Tag is a format of HTML element. Tag is a format of HTML element. Okay, tag is the format of HTML element. So every dots we are connecting, and we are coming step by step. Initially, we have understood what is HTML, what is the purpose of HTML. Then I have explained what HTML is providing us. Then every element is providing us some set of formats, and that formats we are going to call as a tags. So indirectly, I can say HTML element is going to provide us set of tags. Few element will provide us only one tag, few element will provide us multiple tags. Every tag is a format of your HTML element. Okay, lot of people gets confused between this element and tag. So don't get confused with element and tag. Okay, tags are the part of your elements only. Tags are the parts of your elements. Just tags are nothing but they are just the formats of your HTML element. Okay, so if I take heading element, so we have the element in HTML called heading element. Now this heading element is going to provide us totally 6 formats. Nothing but it provides us totally 6 tags. And those 6 tags names are H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6. These are the 6 tags names of heading element. These are the 6 tags of heading element. 6 tags of heading element. Okay, now what is the purpose of heading element? The purpose of heading element is to show certain content in the form of headings or subheadings. Suppose you have created one web page. Okay, you want to develop one web page. On that web page, you want to show some content in the form of maybe something like heading, maybe in the form of subheading, maybe something like subheading, and so on. So if you want to show any content in the format of heading, subheading, 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 then you can utilize this heading element. Okay, is it clear up to here? Anyone have any doubts? Anyone have any doubts? Okay, now if someone asks you what HTML is providing us so that we can structure the content, what will be your answer? What HTML is providing us so that we can structure the content on web page? What will be your answer? Yes, answer should be elements. What HTML is providing? HTML is providing lot of elements. Now every element will provide how many formats? Every element will provide how many format? That depends on the element. Few element will provide one format, nothing but one tag. Few element will provide multiple tags. Okay, every tag will have some name. So for example, if I am taking heading element as an example, heading element is providing us how many tags? It is providing us totally 6 tags. Every tag is going to format the content or structure the content in some way. H1 will structure the content in some way, H2 will structure the content in some way, H3 will structure the content in some way. Okay, now let's understand about tags. Okay, there are two types of tags. There are two types of tags. Or I can say there are three types of tags. What are those three types of tags? We have something called opening tag. We have something like closing tag and self-closing tag. Third one is self-closing tag. How many tags we have? We have three types of tags. What are those three types of tags? Opening tag, closing tag, and self-closing tag. So how will be the opening tag? Means opening tag will be something like this. How to write our opening tag means? We have to start with angular bracket. Then tag name, then close angular bracket. Any tag which you are seeing in this format is called opening tag. Any tag which is in this format, like open angular bracket, then slash, then tag name, this is called closing tag. Any tag which you will see in this format, open angular bracket, tag name, okay, then slash, then close angular tag. This is called self-closing tag. So how many tags we have? There are three types of tag: opening tag, closing tag, self-closing tag. Opening tag and closing tag, this both the types of tag we will use together. Opening tag and closing tag we will use together. So some tags will have opening tag and closing tag. Few tags will have only self-closing tag. Okay, now every HTML element is going to provide us lot of tags. So few tags will have opening tag and closing tag. Few tags will have only self-closing tag. Few tags will have only self-closing tag. So few tags are of this type, opening tag and closing tag, which we will use together. And few tags will have only self-closing tag. Only self-closing tag. Okay. Now, slowly we will learn which tag has opening tag, closing tag, which tag has only self-closing tag. Yeah. Is it clear up to here? What is element? What element is going to provide us? And what are the different types of tags? Remember, opening tag and closing tag we will always use together, and self-closing tag we will use in other way. Okay. So am I going fast, guys? Am I going fast, or this speed is enough? Do you want me to slow my speed, or it's a perfect speed? Okay, this is perfect, right? Yeah. So I'm going very slow, guys. I'm not going fast. I'm going very slow. Yeah. So step by step, just we are trying to connect every dot, and we are trying to understand everything in the sequence. At initial stage, things will not be clear, but as you progress, things will start becoming clear. Okay, just have little patience. Suppose suddenly you get some doubt while I'm explaining, just wait for 5 minutes, more 5 minutes. When I explain next set of things, all your doubts will get cleared. Okay, still if your doubt is not clearing after finishing the topic, then you guys are feel free to ask those questions. Feel free to ask those questions. Okay, now let me show you one example. For example, heading element is providing us one tag, that is h1 tag, right? Now all heading elements are in the form of opening tag and closing tag. All heading elements tags have opening tag and closing tag. It means from h1 to h6, all tags have the opening tag and closing tag. So how to write our tags? How to write our tags? Let me show you. So all heading elements have opening tag and closing tag. For example, if I take h1 tag, now this h1 tag has opening tag also, it has closing tag also. So how to write? Something like this. Start angular bracket, then your tag name, that is h1, then close your angular bracket. Okay, then open angular bracket, slash, again your tag name, then close your angular bracket. Now this is opening tag, this is your closing tag, and in between opening tag and closing tag you can write here some content. For example, HTML concepts. I'm just writing some content here. Now this entire thing together we are going to call as an element. This entire thing together we are going to call as an element. So this is opening tag, this is closing tag, and in between opening tag and closing tag, whatever you have, this is called content. This is called content. So here this one is opening tag, this one is closing tag, and this one is content. And entire thing we are going to call as an element. So this entire thing is heading element. This entire thing together we are going to call as a heading element. Okay, So this is the first element, and first element's first tag we have learned. Now, if you want to show any content in the heading format, then you can take the help of h1 tag. For example, if I visit any website here, for example, I'm just visiting any website. Here I'm saying something like this, HTML MDN. I'm just visiting some website. Now, whenever I visit the website, here you are able to see some content. Now see here, this content looks like a heading. So if you want this kind of structure, then you can take the help of this h1 tag. Okay. So for this, let's write our first line in our HTML. So if you want to write HTML code, then what you need to do? You have to create one HTML file. And this HTML file you should create in some folder. If you want to write HTML code, you have to create one HTML file, and this HTML file we have to create in some folder. Okay. So now you go to any drive in your system, C drive, D drive, E drive, F drive, whatever drive you have, just create one folder in that drive. Create a folder in any drive. After creating the folder in any drive, open the folder in the VS Code. Whatever folder you have created, open the folder in VS Code. Now, how to open the folder in VS Code? Let's see that. So before that, I need to create one folder. So I will go to some drive in my system. Okay, here I will go to something like E drive. I have D drive, E drive, C drive. I will go to E drive. Now in E drive, I have some folder here. I will go to this training. Under that, I have some Ashok IT. And here I have something like batches. Okay, somewhere here. Yeah. Now here I want to create one folder. I hope everybody knows how to create folder. So let me just create one folder here. Something like session 3. I will just add today's date. So the first step is done. We just created one folder. You create folder anywhere, wherever you want to create the folder. No issues in that. Now I have created the folder. After creating the folder, what we need to do? That folder we have to open in the VS Code. Now go to your desktop. Here you will find VS Code icon, right? Just double click on that icon. Whenever you double click on the icon, your VS Code will open. Now we have just opened the VS Code. You will see here welcome. Just close it. Now in this VS Code, we have to open the folder what we have created. So for that, here on the top, you will find file option. You will find something called file option. Click on that file option. Click on open folder. You will have an option called open folder. Click on that open folder and just navigate to the path where you have created your folder. So I'm just navigating to the path where I have created my folder. So here, this is the folder, yes, 03 and today's date. Just select that and click on select the folder option. Now, once you click on that, that folder will be opened. In VS Code. Now see, that folder is opened. Now that is empty folder. I don't have anything inside this folder. It's an empty folder. Now inside this empty folder, inside this empty folder, we will create one HTML file now. Create one HTML file. Create a HTML file. How to create HTML file inside the folder? So it's very, very easy. Okay. Now here, if you keep your cursor on this folder name, you will find some icons here. Click on first icon. Now it will ask you, give some name to your file. I'm just giving heading. Now, which type of file you want to create? Do you want to create JavaScript file, Java file, or text file, or HTML file? I want to create HTML file. So after giving the name to your file, just add dot and write HTML. After writing your file name, after adding your file name, add dot, then add HTML. Click on enter. Now see, one HTML file is created. After creating HTML file, what we can do? We can write our HTML code. Now we have learned how to use h1 tag. We have just learned how to use h1 tag. So let's write that h1 tag here. Open angular bracket, h1, close angular bracket, then open angular bracket / h1 and close angular bracket. It is your opening tag. This is your closing tag. In between this opening tag and closing tag, add your content. Which content you want to show like heading? Add that content. So here I'm adding the content like HTML heading element. I'm just adding some content like HTML heading element. After that, save your file. How to save your file? Ctrl+S, or else you can click on the file and here you will have one save button. You can directly click Ctrl+S, or else you can click on the file. Whenever you click on the file, you will have the option save. Click on that save. Save your file. So now what you did, you simply created one HTML file, and in that you have written one line of HTML code. We have just written our first HTML code. Now, if you want to see the content on your browser, then what you need to do, you have to load your HTML file. Load your HTML file inside the browser. We have to load HTML file in the browser. Now, once you load HTML file in the browser, what browser will do? Browser will create one web page. And on that web page, it will display the content. As per your instruction. It will display the content as per your instructions. As per your HTML instructions, it will display the content, and that content will get some kind of structure. Now the question is how to load HTML file in the browser. Now if you see, this is the HTML file we created, and this file we have created inside our VS Code. This is our VS Code. Inside the VS Code, we have HTML file. In our system, we have browser. Now what we need to do, this HTML file, we have to just load in the browser. Now how to load this HTML file in the browser? From VS Code, this HTML file I want to load in the browser. So for that, this VS Code is providing us some features. And that features we are going to call as extensions. So what your VS Code is providing? VS Code is providing us lot of extensions. Extensions are nothing but features of your VS Code. Using this extension, using one of the extension, we can load our HTML file in the browser. Using one of the extension, we can load our HTML file in the browser. And what is that extension? That extension is live server, something called live server. Now you have to install this extension. By default, these extensions are not installed in your VS Code. You have to install it. First, you have to install it. Okay. So what we did till now, we just created one folder. Then that folder we have opened in VS Code. Inside that folder, we created one HTML file. After that, we wrote our first line in the HTML. Nothing but we wrote our HTML code. Now, if you want to see the output on the browser, for that we have to load HTML file in the browser. But our HTML file is in the VS Code. It is present in the VS Code. But we want to load in the browser. How to load HTML file from VS Code into the browser? For that, VS Code is providing us something called extensions. So we have to install that extension. And what is that extension? That extension is live server. Now, once you install this extension, then you will be able to load your HTML file into the browser. So for that, what you need to do? Simply go to your VS Code. This is the VS Code. On the left side, you will find some icons here. The last icon is something called extension. You will find last icon called extension. Whenever you keep the cursor, you will find here something like extension. Now click on that. Whenever you click on that, here you will get one search box. Here, search for live server. Now, whenever you search for live server, you will get lot of options. But you install the live server where you will find author name as a Ritvik Day. You will have lot of options, but you install that live server whose author is Ritvik Day. Here you will find one install button. I have already installed, so I am not able to find that install button. But you guys did not install. So you will find here one install button. The way here we are seeing install button. Now just click on that install. It will just take 3 or 4 seconds. That's it, to install this extension. Now once this extension is installed, again click on this first icon. If you want to see your files, click on first icon, Explorer. First icon name is Explorer. Click on that. You will be able to see your folder and files. Now on this file, on your HTML file, anywhere you can right click. Whenever you right click, you will find one option called Open with Live Server. Click on that. Just click on that. Now, if you click on that, now this document or this HTML file will be loaded in the browser. By default, it will be loaded in the browser. Now see, we got here one web page, and on that web page, we are able to display some content. In heading format, HTML heading element. So this is the first line we have learned in HTML. So let me just write a little bit in different way. So I will just say here, HTML is a markup language. Now if I save it, go back to your browser, refresh it. Now you got here HTML is a markup language. So if you want to show any content in heading format, in main heading format, then you can take the help of this h1 tag. Now, in the same way, heading element is providing us one more tag, that is h2. H2 will also have opening tag and closing tag. So we have to write in the same way. So I am writing same content in the h2 tag also. Now, once you do some changes in your HTML document, save your file. Go back to the browser, because already that document is opened in the browser. Now refresh here, click on refresh button. Now you will find same content in different structure. Now see, the first content has some structure, your second content has some other structure. First content looks little bit bigger in size, second content looks little smaller in size compared to first content. Like this, heading element is providing us how many tags? It is providing us 6 tags, and all the 6 tags has opening tag and closing tag. All the 6 tags have opening tag and closing tag. So let me just write here h3, h4, h5 and h6. Now save it. Go back to your browser and simply click on refresh. Now see, these are the 6 different ways how your heading element is going to structure your content. These are the 6 different ways in which your heading element is going to structure the content. Now see, here we are able to write 6 lines of code. Now tell me, is it easy or it's very complex to understand HTML? Is it easy to understand HTML, or you are feeling complex to understand HTML? Yes. Okay, so step by step. This is the way we are going to learn how to write code. Not only HTML, we will learn CSS also in the same way. We will learn JavaScript also in the same way. And at the end of your batch, at the end of this batch, I'm pretty sure that you will be able to write hundreds of lines easily without seeing any kind of code anywhere. By your own, you will be able to write the code. You just need to follow my instructions and just practice the way I am saying. Okay, first you follow my instructions, you first learn. Now, once you learn something, then you can use your own techniques also. Now, slowly, you will get some techniques to write the code. By your own, you will start getting the ideas. When you follow my technique, you will also get your own techniques also. Okay, so different developer will have different way of writing the code, different techniques of writing the code. Okay, now here in our session, there are around 200 plus students. After 1 month, there will be 200 different techniques. Everyone have their own technique of writing the code. They just need to understand concept, guys. Once you understand concept, you will just feel like programming is like left job. You won't feel programming is very tough or complex. You will just say that programming is the most easiest thing that I have found in the software engineering. Okay, but for that you have to practice it. Okay, so how to open the folder? For example, let's suppose I am creating here one new folder, something like session 04, and I will just add tomorrow's date. Now I want to open this folder in my VS Code. Now what should I do? What is my first step? I just need to click on the file option. Whenever I click on the file option, I will find here option called open folder. Click on that open folder. Once you click on the open folder, if you are able to find the folder which you want to open, that's good. If you are not able to find, then just navigate. Click on this PC. Wherever you have created folder, just go to that place. So I have created somewhere here. Now, once I found the folder, select that folder, click on the select folder button. Now that folder will be opened in the VS Code. That's it. Okay. Now I just want to go back again. Click on open folder. Click on session 3. Now we have seen how to add headings, in our HTML document. We have seen just how to add headings in our HTML document. So this is the first element that we have learned in HTML. This is the first element that we have learned in our HTML, heading element. So in the same way, we have one more element in the HTML, that is paragraph element. Something called paragraph element. Now, what is the use of this paragraph element? Using this paragraph element, we can add some content in the paragraph format. Suppose if you get a requirement where you have to show the content in paragraph formats, then you can take the help of paragraph element. For example, if I go back here, now if you see here, I have two paragraphs under this title. Under this title, I have two paragraphs here. Paragraph 1 from here to here, and from here to here, paragraph 2. So how to show some content in paragraph format? To show some content in paragraph format, we are going to take the help of paragraph element. Now this paragraph element will provide us only one tag. It will provide us only one tag, and the name of that tag is paragraph P tag. Name of that tag is P. It provides only one tag, and that P tag has opening tag and it has closing tag. It has opening tag, it has closing tag. Whatever content you want to show like a paragraph, that content you add in between this opening tag and closing tag. Whatever content you will add in between this opening tag and closing tag of paragraph, that content will be in the paragraph format. Okay, so just see, let's see practically. Now I am closing this file. I want to create one new file here. I want to create new file. Again, click on the first icon. Then it will create a file for you. Now it is asking what is the name you want to give for your file. I am saying paragraph. Which type of file you want to create? I want to create HTML type of file. So .html. Now paragraph.html file is created. Now inside this, we can write our code. So here I am taking one heading. I want to show one heading. So I will take h2. I will say simply HTML concepts. After this h2, I want to show two paragraphs. So if you want to show the content in paragraph, first take the P tag. Opening tag, closing tag. Then in between that, add your content. So I will just copy some content from internet. Okay, I will just copy some content from internet. Let's suppose I am copying this content. I will add here. Now see, I have added some content in the P tag. Okay, I will copy the same content one more time. After this, again, I will take one more paragraph tag. I will add here one more time. Okay, I'm adding some random content. Okay, don't worry about what content I am adding. Just I am adding some random content. Now this file we have to load in our browser. So the shortcut way of loading this file in the browser is just click on Alt-L, then click on Alt-O. First click on Alt-L, then click on Alt-O. The shortcut to open your document or HTML file in browser is Alt plus L. First click on Alt plus L, then click on Alt plus O. If you just use these shortcuts, your document, nothing but your HTML file load in the browsers. It loads in the browser. Now see, here you are able to see. HTML concepts and 2 paragraphs. See, paragraph 1, paragraph 2. Now, how many paragraphs you can add like this? You can add any number of paragraphs. You can add any number of paragraphs. I can take one more heading. Like after this, I will just take one more H2. I will say here CSS concepts. Save it. Save it. Already your document is loaded in the browser. Go to that browser. Refresh it. Click on refresh. Now here you got one more heading, CSS concepts. Here also I want some paragraph. So I am just searching some content on the internet. CSS, something like MDN, something I am searching. I'm just opening some random website and just trying to copy the content. Just trying to copy this content. Go back here. Take one paragraph tag, paste here. Okay, take one more paragraph tag, paste the content. I'm just pasting the same content 2 times. Okay, save it. Now, if you see here, you have one H2. Under that, you have one paragraph. Under that, you have one more paragraph. That's it. If you want, you can add one more paragraph. I can add one more paragraph. Any number of paragraphs you can add. Save your file, go to the browser and click on refresh button. You will see all the 3 paragraphs. Now see here, we are able to create one basic HTML document or basic web page. On that web page, we are able to show some content. Now tell me, is it easy to use HTML? Yeah, we can take lorem ipsum also, no problem. Okay, just click on the live server, just type Alt plus 0, Alt plus L, Alt plus O. Then your browser will open. Automatically your browser will open. If you type this one, your HTML document will load in the browser and your browser will be opened. Just type this one. Okay, so after writing your code, what you need to do, if you want to open this document or this HTML file in browser, what you need to do, one way is you can just right click here on the file, you can right click, then you will find here one option like open with live server. You will find one option like open with live server. Click on that option. First time, whenever you click on that option, it will ask you to choose a browser. It will ask you to choose browser, choose any browser. From second time, it will not ask you to choose the browser. If you click on that, this HTML file will be opened in the browser. Directly, automatic, your browser will open, and in that browser, that HTML document will be loaded. And internally, browser will create one web page and it will just display your content by giving different structure. It will be so fast that even you will not able to like understand that browser had done so many things. Internally, browser will do so many things. Once we start learning JavaScript, then you will understand what browser is going to do internally. And that will be done in fraction of seconds. So many things a browser will do to show this content on this web page. So many things it will do. So what things it will do, that we will understand after understanding some concepts of JavaScript, some concepts of CSS and HTML. Okay. Yeah, don't learn parallelly. Learn HTML first, then CSS, then learn JavaScript. Don't learn JavaScript and HTML parallelly. Like personally, I don't recommend. Yeah. So now how many elements we are aware about? What are the elements we know in HTML as of now? We know 2 elements. What are those 2 elements? Heading element and paragraph element. Now this heading element will provide us how many tags? Heading element is providing us how many tags? It is providing us 6 tags. Okay. And we have to use those tags names only. H1 means H1 only. All those tags are predefined by HTML. Now we don't have any tag like H0. We don't have any tag like H7, H8, something like that. We don't have any tags. We have only 6 tags for heading element. They are from H1 to H6. Okay. And your paragraph element is providing how many tags? Paragraph element is providing us only 1 tag. Only 1 tag. Okay. Yeah. Now let's suppose I want to show some content in the form of list. I want to show some content in the form of list. Something like this. 1 HTML, 2 CSS, 3 JavaScript, 4 something like React, 5 something like Angular. Suppose if I want to show some content like this in the list format, or maybe something like this list format, in unordered list format also. Here's something. Something like this. Maybe here I want to give some technology names like Java. Here maybe something like .NET. Here maybe something like Python. So basically I want to show some list on my web page. On the web page, I want to show my some content in the format of list. Now, if you show like this sequence, if you show some content in the sequence by giving some number like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then this type of list we are going to call as an order list. We are going to call as an order list. Any list which we are showing in this form, like we don't have any proper order, but they are in the list format, they are called unordered list. Now to show any content, in list format, HTML is providing us something called list element. List element. And there are how many types of list element, guys? Do you know how many types of list element we have? Yeah, if you know how many types of list element we have? 2 types. List element. I am saying about list element. There are 3 types of list element. How many types? 3 types. The first type is we are going to call as a ordered list. We have unordered list. And one new list has been introduced in your HTML5, and that is called definition list. Definition list. How many types of list? We have 3 types of list, and out of 100 members, 90% people will say there are only 2 types of list, because they never learned the third list. That is the reason they don't know. So there are three types of list: ordered list, unordered list, and definition list. Okay. Now this ordered list is going to provide us totally two tags. It is going to provide us two tags. And those two tags are OL tag. OL stands for ordered list, and LI tag. LI stands for list item. List item. OL stands for ordered list. Ordered list will provide us two tags, and those two tags are OL and LI. OL and LI. Okay. Now unordered list will also provide us totally two tags, and those two tags are UL. UL stands for unordered list, and LI. It will also provide us LI, that is list item. List item. So ordered list and unordered list provide us two tags: OL tag, LI tag. Unordered list also provides us two tags: UL tag and LI tag. Definition list will provide us totally three tags. It will provide us three tags. What are those three tags? Means DL, DT, DD. DL stands for definition list. DT stands for definition term. DD stands for definition description. Definition description. Definition description. Lot of people know only two types of list. Now there is one more type of list, that is definition list, which is introduced in HTML5 version. People know HTML5, but they don't know third type. That is very strange. The reason, lot of trainers also don't know there is a new type of list called definition. Okay, the people who are reading the documentation of your HTML, they knows it. Okay. Now let's see how we can use it. So I'm just creating, I'm closing it. I'm creating one more file, something called ordered list.html. If you want to create any content in the list format, if you want to show any content in the ordered list format, simply write OL tag, opening tag and closing tag. Inside the OL tag, take one LI tag, and inside this LI tag, mention your content. Suppose I am mentioning HTML. Now like this, we can take multiple LI tags inside this OL tag. Inside this OL tag, we have to take multiple LI tag. And inside every LI, you can mention different content. Now see, here I have taken one OL tag. Inside that, I have taken 4 LI tags. In every LI, I have mentioned some kind of content. Now, if I load this document in my browser, now see, here I am able to show the content in the list format. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React. Whatever I have added, exactly same content I am able to show in the list format. Any content which you are showing in the list format, and that too in a proper sequence, like 1, 2, 3, 4, you given proper sequence. These are called ordered list. This is called ordered list. In the same way, I can create unordered list also. unordered list also. I'm creating one more file, unordered.html. How to create unordered list? Simply take UL tag and just mention your LIs. I will just copy this LI. I will paste here. Inside UL also you have to add LI. LI1, LI2. You can add any number of LI. I will add one more LI, something called Angular here. Now I will load this document in my browser. Now see, this is unordered list. Now here we got bullet points, right? We got some bullet points. By seeing these bullet points, we cannot guess that they are in the sequence. We cannot guess that they are in the sequence. They are in the list format, but they are not in the sequence. They are not in the sequence. Here, they are in the list format, but they are in the sequence. They are in the sequence because here I have given specific numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is called ordered list. Ordered list. This is called unordered list. Unordered list. So if you are showing bullet points, this is unordered list. If you are showing numbers, this is ordered list. Unordered list, ordered list. Okay. Now we have to learn so many things. We have to learn so many things related to this list. Related to this list, we have to learn so many things that we will explore in tomorrow's session. Okay, in tomorrow's session, we will continue with the list element. We will learn about list element in complete detail. We will learn about list element in complete detail. Now, once we have done with the list element, then we will learn image element. We will learn div element. Then we will learn anchor element. Like this, step by step, we will learn all the elements. Once we have learned image element, div element, anchor element, okay, we will stop HTML. I will just stop HTML for 2 days. I will introduce CSS. I will introduce CSS. We will learn some basics concepts of CSS. We will start learning some basics concepts of CSS. So we will take 2 or 3 sessions on CSS. We will learn some basic concepts of CSS. Now, after learning basic concepts of CSS, we know few concepts of HTML, we know few concepts of CSS. Then let's develop one proper web page. Proper web page. Something like this. Let me show you some web pages which I want to develop. Okay, something like this we will develop. Okay, something like this. And we will able to link it. Something like this we will develop. Okay, step by step we will develop. Now tell me, can you show some content in this format? Can you show some content in this format based on whatever we have learned? Yeah. Can you show some content in this format? How to get this horizontal line? How to get this horizontal line? I will explain that. I will explain in tomorrow's session. Now you know how to develop this content, this part also. You know how to develop this part also. You know how to develop this part also. You know how to develop this part also. It means at least half of this page you guys can develop. if you leave this part, if you leave this header part, and if you leave this footer part, apart from that, you will be able to develop all this. After learning few CSS concepts, you will be able to develop this entire thing by your own. Okay, these are the few examples that we are going to learn. Apart from this, we are going to learn so many things. We are going to develop so many web pages. We will develop something like this. If I go to this amazon.in, I want to develop this structure. This structure I want to develop. Now you will be able to develop this structure also. Okay, once we know few concepts of CSS, once you know few concepts of HTML, you will be able to develop this part. Now, once you know how to develop this part, then by your own, you will be able to develop this entire part also. You will be able to develop this entire part. So like this, step by step, we will be learning the things. And once you know how to develop like this small things, then when you combine all your small things, it will be one big thing. When you will combine all your small things, then it will be one big thing. Now this is how step by step we are going to learn the things. Okay, so the people who are new, I will be uploading our notes. I will be uploading this paint file and all the code whatever I have written on some link, and that link, let me provide you that link for you guys. Okay, this is the link where I will be uploading my entire paint files and notes. Okay, this is the course content. Let me give the course content to you guys. Just check what are the things we are going to learn. Okay, and this is the WhatsApp group. So I want everybody to join this WhatsApp group. So you will get all the notifications from the Ashok IT. Okay, don't copy. This content will not be copied. Whatever link I have pasted, you will not be able to copy. Just click on that link. It will open in your browser. Just bookmark it. Okay, so our sessions, basically our sessions will be from 5:30 to 7. But for few sessions, for first few sessions, I will take sessions from 5:30 to 6:30 only. After a few sessions, I will extend the time from 5:30 to 7 p.m. And our sessions will be from Monday to Saturday. Okay. So from this week, our sessions will be from Monday to Saturday. So last week, I did not take any session on Saturday, but from this week, our sessions will be from Monday to Saturday. And the duration of this entire course will be minimum 1 month, and maximum it can go to 1 month, 10 days. So in between this, we will try to finish everything. This is the initial stage. So I am just going very slow, but as you guys get comfortable with basic concepts, then we can just move little bit fast. Okay. Yeah. So that's all guys for today's session. So let's meet tomorrow at the same time, 5:30 p.m. So try to join exactly at 5:30 so that I can start my session by 5:35. or 5:33, right? And even you guys will not miss the initial concepts. If you miss initial concepts, then it will be very difficult for you to digest entire session. So don't miss first 10 or 15 minutes, because in this first 10 or 15 minutes, we will build our base for today's session or for current session. And if you miss that base only, then understanding entire session will be very, very challenging for you. You will also lose interest in that case. Okay. So try to join exactly by 5:30, or try to join 5 minutes before only. Okay, I will push this code. I will push this paint file, whatever coding I have done, I will push on that Git repository. You guys can download from there. Yeah, that's all guys from my end. So if you don't have any doubts, you guys can leave. If you have any doubts, feel free to ask on the chat. Yes, Chandu, that's WhatsApp group, so it will take you to WhatsApp. Rajanish, we will learn all the advanced JS concept, but not TS, okay? TypeScript is not covered, only JavaScript is covered. Last classes, guys, if you want last classes, just visit to Ashok IT in the YouTube channel. There they have uploaded first 2 sessions. So you can access last 2 sessions from the YouTube. Yeah, Prem, it's completely free batch. Pratmesh, you should be able to open. There is like the link is working properly. For React, we don't require TypeScript. It's optional. Yes, but for Angular, you guys require TypeScript. But if you are joining any Angular batch, then mandatorily they will teach TypeScript there. First, they will teach TypeScript, then they will teach Angular. But to understand TypeScript, you should know JavaScript. Without understanding the JavaScript, you will not understand TypeScript. Prem, I will cover all the topics. Whatever I have mentioned in that PDF, I will be covering all those topics. Ayush, I did not explain description list yet. We will discuss about description list in tomorrow's